In the Virginia woods, these are preparations for a new American battleground. People ready, they say, to fight if Donald Trump goes down.
Because there's a lot of patriots that love that man, including myself.
John won't give his last name, but he's free with his opinions. He says America could be on the point of a second civil war.
If they try to steal the election from Donald Trump, that's going to be basically the trigger point.
He's preparing a fleet of off-road vehicles.
There's some thoughts about possibly mounting a gun on this. Did you ever see the movie Mad Max? Oh yeah, my favorite.
But this is no entertainment. In a series of safes, John has an Aladdin's cave of military-style weapons.
You've got a lot of semi-automatics.
Among the least of the weaponry is a style rifle, standard issue for Australian troops.
The FBI says applications for federal firearms background checks are running at record levels, more than 30 million Americans so far this year, and the run on ammunition is so strong that where shops still have bullets, they're rationing them.
The NRA gun lobby jokes on Twitter that gun owners dance like Donald Trump when gun stores get new supplies. But John has been stockpiling for 20 years.
If there's ever a need that fellow patriots need ammunition, I have it.
He'll supply guns as well, he says, to patriots willing to take on
anyone that tries to destroy the Constitution and our rights.
And who do you think that might be?
Right now, looks like the left and the liberals.
And he says they will be easy meat.
We have a big head start on somebody who's just getting into the field.
Intriguingly, John says he voted for Barack Obama in 2008, but those sympathies are long gone.
Complete with a Confederate flag? Sure. The American flag is being washed right now. It got dirty.
John's 17-year-old son Sam is convinced Trump will not stand down if he loses the vote.
I think if it's rigged, he's not going to step down. And I don't think people are going to put up with it if they force him to.
Trump patriots are ready. Hugh Remington for 10 News First, Shenandoah, Virginia.
All right, Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors be unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barakatam to the hopefully elect. So, amen. By this time, it's pretty much a waiting game, because, of course, start with the apostles and elders and all the men on down of Great Millstone. The prophets, they've been prophesying of these events that are about to take place. They've been prophesying about these things for years now. And slowly but surely these things are coming into intuition. And they're anyone with the eyes to see, and common sense can see these things are about to come to pass. All right, because like I said, the prophets, man, they've been prophesying of civil war and civil unrest. All right, and with all this tension dealing with these elections, all right, you got people gearing up, stacking up on guns and ammo. All right, because this thing is about to hit the ceiling, man. All hell is about to break loose. And these people, man, they're getting ready. Like you see with this scene right here. All right, dealing with pretty much the main enemy right now. Dealing with these Trump supporters, are it's pretty much those on the left, like you said. These different Antifa and Black Lives Matter movement, which they're all going to link that to the Israelites at the end of the day, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. All right, because best believe, all right, when the shooting starts, all right, at some point in time they're gonna they're really going to come after the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. All right, they're going to be gunned down like nothing. very soon. All right, because even like the Edomite said, you know, because you got a lot of these groups, like the whole Grandmaster Jay crew, all right, buying guns and wearing fringes and things of that nature. People are just now, you know, getting into the mindset of buying arms and going out to the shooting range. When whole time you got these Edomites, man, they've been ready. Like this Edomite said, they've been prepared. All right, you know, they're on a whole other level, which, you know, time in and time out. That's why we tell you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians not to be, you know, getting involved in that stuff, because again, like we always say, you know, our fight is spiritual. All right. Now, granted, there's nothing wrong with, um, you know, buying a, you know, handgun, or you know, just a, you know, handgun, you know, protect your family, you and yours, and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that, so to say. But again, trying to buy up guns and marching and protesting and you know, just getting involved in what the mass majority of the people, because the scriptures talk about not following the multitude to do evil. All right, just buying up guns to get involved with all this, you know, left versus right and protests and rioting and all this other stuff. That's not our fight. That's not our battle. All right, because again, best believe, all right, these Edomites, man, they're strapped and they're ready. All right. And again, you know, at some point in time, you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are going to be the forefront of, you know, pretty much domestic terrorism. Because, like this Edomite said, pretty much they're going to fight for those that are pretty much, they feel, are trying to destroy their constitutional rights, which, again, they're going to, somehow, some way, they're going to blame so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. All right, so, you know, with all this tension, you know, this thing is ready to boil over, you know, and all these videos, I have a few videos. I probably won't play them all. Yeah, I won't play them all, but pretty much, you know, I got them from World Star Hip Hop, you know, in case you want to check them out. I'm gonna play this video.
It's the gun that won the Civil War.
Ah, got it. What do you got on your back?
It's just I think it's a 1022 with a drum.
Oh, it's a 22.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's got 110 rounds in it, 150, something like that. And I'm heading from here to the desert and go and shoot some rounds off. So,
What brings you out here in front of the election center?
vote for Trump, see what's going on, express my constitutional rights to bear arms before they might be infringed upon. This election doesn't go my way.
So you hear how these Edomites are talking. All right, he tried to play it off. He pretty much tried to give the what do you call it? Pretty much the polite way, because, you know, the reporter asked him pretty much, what are you doing here, you know, with the guns and all, and he pretty much tried to you know, say the political what is it called? Pretty much he tried to, you know, say it the right way, you know, so he pretty much doesn't condemn himself on video. But you can clearly see, you know, because like I said, you know, these guys, man, they're strapped and they're ready. If things don't go their way, all right, like I said, with all this tension going on with the elections, which, again, we told you that, you know, it would be pretty much mayhem dealing with these elections. All right. You got, because what did we say? You know, because this thing could play out many ways. That's why I tell people this thing could play out a number of ways, and that's why I said, you know, this is just a waiting game. Because either way, you know, all hell is going to break loose. But you know, it's just a waiting game right now. You know, and to see how it is in fact going to play out. Because one of the ways that this can play out is Biden wins, you know, and Trump, he can easily just say that, you know, the elections are the elections were rigged. He's pretty much not going to accept the results, and with that, he's not going to leave office. You know, he said that. You know, and if that does happen, you know, hey, you know, best believe to expect all hell and all civil unrest. All right, because you know you got and I have a video here, but I probably won't play. But you got some of these Antifa groups and whatnot. Some of these groups, Black Lives Matters, and you know these militia groups showing up to Biden, you know, Biden supporters' homes, threatening them, all right, and vice versa, all right. You know, clashes in the middle of the street, and again, you know, best believe these things are going to, you know, eventually, man, it's gonna be live shootouts out here. You know, they got the military dispatched throughout. All right, you know, because expect a bloodbath, man, because that's what all this is going to lead to. It's going to lead to a bloodbath. All right, these people are losing their minds, you know, over what they firmly believe, whether you're a Trump supporter or whether you're a Biden supporter. All right, but nevertheless, man, this thing is going to blow over. I'll play this video and I'll get some precepts.
The Biden crime family stealing the election. The media's covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media's covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media's covering up. We want our freedom for the world. Give us our freedom, Joe Biden. Joe Biden's covering up this election. He's stealing it. Where were we? What was the last?
So you see, all right, you know, people are claiming that pretty much Biden is stealing the elections, you know, because here it is. I believe it was the night of the elections. Something about how pretty much they closed the polls, right? And pretty much, long story short, Trump was winning, but then, you know, they closed the polls or whatever, and somehow overnight, even though the polls were closed, all right, you know, the next day Biden was you know, he was pretty much ahead somehow, some way, you know, overnight, even when the polls were closed, all right, Biden, you know, got ahead. So, you know, there's a lot of fishy things going on, all right. You know, some of these Trump is trying to sue some of these states. All right, like I believe Nevada is one of the states he's trying to sue, pretty much for voting fraud. All right, and he said that he would, you know, pretty much take it to the Supreme Court, right? Which a lot of, you know, some of these states that he wants to sue, they're pretty much Democrats, right? You know, so that, you know, that's just interesting to see how it plays out. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because like I said, Trump is threatening to sue. He wants to take it to the Supreme Court, which I believe the judge, if I'm not mistaken, I have to double check that. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe the judge, right, he's also a Democrat himself. So this is just interesting to see how this plays out. All right, because either way, you know, it's just like I said, man, it's just a waiting game. You know, and you know the prophets, you know, they're just keeping an eye out and just seeing how things are playing out, because like I said, you know, either way, man, this is gonna boil over, and this is what Esau wants, all hell to break loose, you know, to give him the excuse to bring in martial law, because you know, that's what they, you know, order out of chaos. They want to create the chaos so they can be justified in establishing their order. All right. So, you know, again, you know, just being on the lookout, man. This is, like I said, man, this can play out a number of ways. It's just a waiting game right now, you know, but, you know, either way, you know, we're expecting all hell to break loose. So, let me get this in Isaiah 19, starting at verse 2. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom." Yeah, because this kingdom, man, of Babylon, aka America, all right, it's completely divided. All right, like I said, you got Trump supporters threatening Biden supporters. You got Biden supporters showing up to people's homes. These different militia groups that, you know, they vouch pretty much for Trump. You know, it's just constant back and forth, and eventually it's going to boil over. All right, and you know, like I said, you know, according to prophecy, man, you know, you're going to have mass civil unrest here in the streets of America, city against city, All right, your neighbors are going to turn against one another. All right, it's going to be a bloodbath out here. All right, because the stage is being set for these things to take place. All right, and ultimately, that's Yahweh Shemel Shai. I believe it's in I believe it's in the same chapter. Yeah, verse 14. It says, Yahweh hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Let me see what that word for perverse here. Let me just see what it says. The definition for perverse: distorting, perverting, warping. So yeah, because again, pretty much Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's stirring the minds of these people. All right, that perverse spirit. All right. Because, people, man, people, they're confused. They don't know what's going on. All right. When again, to the prophets, man, this is clear as day. It's clear what's going on. How Esau pretty much set these things up. He's setting these things up. He's setting the stage up, which ultimately is from Yahweh Shemel Shai. Because again, Yahweh Shemel Shai is the one that's, causing these things to take place. All right. The tension in the air. All right. This mass division. All right. Because again, these things eventually it's going to spill over. And that's what we're patiently waiting on. For all hell, all civil unrest. All right. Mass shootouts with the police and military and these different militia groups, civilians. All right, they're gonna catch stray bullets. All right, it's gonna be complete lootless and lawlessness out here in the streets of Babylon very soon. All right. And like I said, we're just patiently waiting on that event to set off all events, the domino effect, because the stage is set, man. That fire has been kindled already. All right. So 2 Esdras 15, starting at verse 15, it says, For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, those Egyptians against Egyptians. All right, these the neighbor against neighbor. All right, people eventually, because this place is so divided, people eventually they're just going to start turning on one another. All right, those swords represents the modern day gun or killing instrument. All right, like the first video I played, man. The Edomites, man, they're strapped and they're ready, and they're way ahead of the game, man. Because like I said, you got these Antifa and all these little militia groups, that go out to the shooting range and shoot the little soda cans and all that crap. All right, listen, man, these redneck hillbilly Edomites. All right, they're on a whole other level. All right, and they're ready. They're ready. All right, because again, best believe, man, they're those that are really backing Trump. Because Trump is, he's already put it out there, dealing with rigged elections and, the possibilities of what could take place. He's already put it out there, all right, and put it in the minds of these Edomites that are backing him and these different militia groups that are backing him, all right. If Biden wins, it's pretty much not fair game. And just like Trump, all right, these cats, man, these Trump supporters, they're going to back Trump. All right, and they're going to come under that same mindset. They're not going to accept defeat because of what he's been put out there. It's all rigged. It's all fake. All right, because if you've been paying attention, man, pretty much the odds have pretty much been stacked against Trump. So again, if Trump loses, all right, it's pretty much not going to be. They're going to cry unfair game, and pretty much. Well, like I'm about to read here in this verse 16, because people are eventually going to take matters into their own hands. Verse 16, it says, For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the courts of their actions shall stand in their power. So these people are ready to, they're going to be ready to get down and dirty. All right, they're going to say the hell with the government and local authorities and things of that nature, and they're just going to take matters into their own hands. All right. You had that one case in I believe it was Seattle, the autonomous zone, all right, where pretty much you had the pretty much just your regular people, regular civilians, pretty much acting as the local authorities. You know, they pretty much establish their own little government, their own little setup. That's going to take place in America throughout. All right, because again, people are they're just going to take matters into their own hands. And they're not going to, you know, people are pretty much going to be governing themselves, because people are, for one, they're, you know, coming to the understanding and realization that the government is never was really for them. All right, this is why, you know, people are threatening local politicians and those in the government and things of that nature. All right, these people, man, they're you know, these mayors and whatnot, they're you know, they're pretty much being threatened, because again, you know, it comes to find out these people, man, they're not for the people. You know, they're there to fill their own bellies and do their own will. So this is why people are going to take matters into their own hands. All right, you're going to start seeing a lot of these politicians and whatnot getting kidnapped and held for ransom. All right, threatened more and more, man. The violence is only going to increase. It's only going to intensify to the point where they well, that's the spirit. When you read verse 17, because like I said, this stuff is only going to intensify. It's going to get more and more chaotic to a point where it gets out of control. And this is, again, Esau wants this to happen so it gives them the excuse to bring in martial law, which when you read verse 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because these slowly but surely, these different cities and whatnot, they're going to be cut off. All right. You might have some states that might claim sovereignty. They might claim to you know, not be a part of the United States. You know, they might declare themselves, they're, you know, like their own little country or whatnot. All right, this is what's getting ready to happen. This is what's getting ready to take place. All right, I'm gonna jump down to verse 19. It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." So yeah, you know, again, you know, people are buying up these guns and ammo. All right. You know, things are going to get so hectic out here, you know, like I said, man, just complete lawlessness and just lawlessness. All right. People are going to take law and matters into their own hands. It's going to get so bad. But nevertheless, man, you know, we just continuing to watch out, because, you know, this is what's expected. This is what the prophecy states. All right. These things are written for, you know, for the elect to receive it. You know, so, hey man, you know, just expect this to continue to boil over, man. You know, because it's not going to get any better from here. You know, you know, this place is done, man. It's completely through. It's too far gone to go back to the quote unquote normal. All right, so, you know, just continuing to be on the watch. You know, expecting all hell to break loose. Lord's will, man. You know, it takes place very soon. So with that, we give all credit to Yahweh Shem El Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Until next time, Shalom.